Hey people, welcome to the channel. Hope everyone is having a great weekend. In this case, I want to react along with you to Salty Mike's Evo 4.0 video. I'm not Evo Caddy. I'm not much of a Star Citizen content creator in general, which usually is very much on the shilly side of things, especially if you want to have any relationship with the company. You know how this is. That's not what I do. That's not my thing. What I do is survival and preparedness. That's why you see a YouTube. Oh, but how is it that you have a... No, this is not my main channel. I do YouTube for survival preparedness, self-defense, stuff related to economic preparedness. All of that that's what I actually do. I write books on these topics if you want to learn more about all of that stuff, and check out my other channels. That's what I do. I just enjoy video games. Actually, the first video game I actually remember is 1982. 1982. That is Donkey Kong Jr. Color, made in Japan. Yeah. Talk about. So since then, it's actually been an interesting journey from there to Fallout, first Fallout 1990 something, and so on. So I like video games. I've always liked. Sometimes I played more, sometimes I played less. But what I want to explain is I don't have anything against CIG, Star Citizen. I definitely would like to see it do a lot better. But what I do, unlike what you see sometimes unlike unfortunately what you see in most of these channels, is I'm not shilling for CIG. I'm not trying to convince you that, it's just miscommunication. No, if I see something that's going on well and I enjoy what's happening, especially the new content, if there's anything added worth playing, I'll be the first one to jump on it. Hey, look, this is actually a lot of fun. Hey, we have this, we have that. Things that you see in games like No Man's Sky, for example. Plan is Part 1. God damn it! There's a new exploration mission that you can go and you get a fucking awesome reward. Yeah, let's go do that shit. Those are the things that I will honestly let you know about. Now, if unfortunately we only see downgrading and time sinks being added and just really pretending to progress on something that's really going backwards, unfortunately I'll have to call that out too. Anyway, just enough context for us to explain where I'm coming from, especially for the new folks here. And I'll leave Salty Mike's video below.
All right, another one of these. I just did the Avocado test. I'll preface this right away. I don't like making these kind of videos, but we're at the point where everybody wants to know everything all the time. What was your experience? How did it go? And I have an easy video to just point people to that and not have to answer the same questions all the time, I guess. And it just kind of makes life easier. I did basically two things in the Evo Cadi patch. First off, the notes are public, but there isn't much there to let you know what's going on. My focus in Pyro, things that I was super excited about, were contested zones and economy stuff. I didn't check out the economy stuff because I went to the contested zones, and the next thing I was excited to see was jump points. So those are the two things that we're going to highlight today. Started out with contested zones because if you spawn in Pyro, like they explained in the ISC about contested zones, they're right outside the social areas, right? Social areas being, at least at Checkmate Station, was around the food court. So I found a big door. If anybody had done the previous Pyro play test, there's a big door that kind of leads to rooms with garb.
Though I'm not Evo Caddy, I am Wave 1, I guess, and I have been to Pyro, and I've been extremely disappointed with Pyro because it is the same station, copy-pasted 4 or 5 times, giving different names, but it's the exact same place in which you start in. So there's one starting point, which is, call it whatever, Checkmate, Graveyard, bullshit, Pyro, whatever. It's the same station, copy pasted 4 times. The food court is exactly the same. The hubs, everything is exactly the same, just layered a little bit different, laid out a little bit different, but it's the exact same thing. It's like the difference between space stations, right? In Star Citizen and Stanton, there's no difference. They're all the same. Well, this is the same thing. They use the same modules and they just rearrange them and call it. I think that's fucking unacceptable in a game. At this point, that's what a 14-year-old getting started with a game he's making can get away with. Oh, I just pretend there's a little bit of a difference here when there's nothing, and they have 4 different starting locations. Not on this case. That's not cool. And apparently, it's the same thing. There hasn't been anything added since we saw it, last year? Anyway.
And stuff like that in them. That's what now leads to contested zones. And there were no NPCs there technically. There were some invisible ones because apparently their clothing or their tattoos or something like that were not really in, but they were in, but they're not in, and they were just like invisible. So some people died to invisible NPCs. I actually never saw any. There is a new fauna, and it is a rat, and it literally, have you ever seen the rat jam emote on Twitch? That's what it looks like. It just kind of animates side to side a lot, and it's pretty goofy. It's definitely not in fully yet. The loot table inside the contest, tons of loot containers. It is the Stanton loot table. So
nothing new, man.
Not really far along here. But what I did get to see is two systems that were, I think, technically three systems that were pretty fun. Lots of jump puzzles and things like that. Lots of tunnels to go through to get to certain areas. Drugs in a lot of places. The process of how they make drugs, you can kind of see it now. Dengus root from Hurston seems to be involved in this somehow. So on the economy brain side of things, you might be buying or finding and harvesting things in Hurston, bringing them over to Pyro, and then bringing drugs back potentially. That could be a thing. So
Salty Mike starts to talk like a CIG employee, potentially, and projecting what you wish would happen into what is not even there. You're definitely not doing that, but you just wish that eventually one day it could be the case. This is, I don't know, copium times
Contested Zone
100.
is definitely a drug lab, at least the one that I found, right? And once again, that it was on Checkmate Station. If you guys found one on another station, your experience might have been completely different. I have no idea. But the contested zone is massive. Doors and hallways and big open rooms galore, basically. But some doors are locked. And as a matter of fact, basically the first locked door you come across is really early. And it took me a while because I was looking for a key card in all the loot containers. No key card for that one. Fuse. So I put the fuse in, bang, the door opens. Oh, the whole world's open to me. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. And no NPCs. That's when I see the rat and find all the drug labs and things like that, right? So now we're running around and we don't know that there's nothing there, right? So we're all, me and 5 other people are running around the contest zone looking for stuff. Like, ooh, we found this. Ooh, we found that. Ooh, we found a 3D printer that prints the key cards that we saw in the sneak peek not too long ago. And that opens these big blue security doors. And through those big blue security doors, we noticed the loot containers changed. And they changed from your standard loot containers like the white ones and the square ones and the medical ones and the ammunition ones to the green weapon ones. Now, none of the new weapons were in, technically. We think that there was some like there was a special gun box that was open and there was a gun in it and it had a lot of attachments on it. One of them had the low light scopes on it. So I think they're trying to do something there. But again, we have like the old Stanton loot. I went to a fire rats area, which is a faction within Pyro, and it was
it's always all like super low cost, right? In terms of, oh, this is something new. Is it really new? No, we just rearrange things a little bit. We change the color of this armor, and now we have an entire word soup of lore attached to it. There's really nothing new. New things would be, God damn it, I have an entire system. I have an entire system. That's what in this is 2024. You cannot pretend to satisfy people after 14 years and 700 or whatever the amount of millions of dollars to do things that a child would do so as to create a little bit of variety within the game he's working on after school. That's the kind of nonsense we see here. Oh, I have new corridors. I have big spaces to move. What about the actual when are we getting actual progression? When are you working on developing a content that is meaningful to some extent, that will persist, that I will work on having a base that I'll actually get to keep after each patch? Where is this sense of, this is the world? There's none of that. No Man's Sky would be a perfect example of that. You go back to No Man's Sky, you see other people's homes. You see places that have been there for years, man. And it's freaking awesome. And when you get a reward from one of these expeditions, it is a damn ship that you cannot buy with real money. No, you have to go and earn it. Or get someone to give you the pieces to make it yourself. But it is a completely different sense of reward, a completely different sense of exploration, of course. Why the hell is it that we cannot have that? What is it? What is there anything so special about the plans that we have? No, they actually look like shit. Let's be completely real. Those three, if you get close to any plant in Microtech, it is below average by the standards of today's games. How the hell is it that we don't have hundreds of different systems to explore? What? Oh, you're what? You're afraid of what, CIG? Fucking copy pasting? Obviously, that's not a problem you have. You copy paste the shit out of everything in the 4 fucking plans that you have. You even copy pasted the stations. They're all the same. So what would be the problem in giving you that a la No Man's Sky? A million of those things. Oh, it would be all the same. Well, it's already all the same. If you had any kind of plan, of project, of how to add a little bit of variation, at the very least, some places will have more minerals than others. Oh, I've been exploring all week long. I got fucking nowhere. But you know what? At the end, just before I gave up, I found this moon that has nothing, but has a lot of quantanium, which I can go and explore. And it can go and mine and bring back through a different jump points. And you know what? After a week of wasting time, apparently, I finally was rewarded. Well, maybe a week is a little bit too much, but let's say after several hours of exploring all of these empty planets, which, by the way, space is fucking empty in general. So it's not, and that's something that I actually liked from No Man's Sky, from Starfield. It's mostly lifeless planets. Well, that's how it is. That would be exploration. It would be rare to find, this planet actually has plants. Oh, god damn, that's interesting. This planet has a little bit of life in it. That's super cool. So all of those things would be part of real exploration. We don't have any of that. We have still screwing around with, I'm giving you a gun that changed colors. Okay.
Oh my god, I can't remember the name of the room in dorms in Escape from Tarkov. But that one room with like the pentagram in the middle.
He has to think of other games because there's nothing in this one.
Think that's the vibe it was giving. It was pretty wild. But yeah, outside of that, I found another very interesting looking container inside one of the drug labs. It was like a tall container that was purple and white. It was like a rectangle, but tall and skinny. And inside of it was subscriber loot. So again, Stanton loot table. So who knows?
More subscriber loot, more shit that we've already seen, pretending to be new. They don't even make new loot. How difficult is it? How many times have they talked about having guns that have wear and tear on them? You can replace them. You can repair them. Where is all of that? We have nothing. They are not making this. They're not making the game. They're not making new content. They're just dicking around with the same thing. This is what we saw from Pyro. They've added nothing. These guys will just throw that shit out there and say, yeah, mission accomplished, right? Yeah.
What's actually intended to be align it, and then some silly developer message pops up and says like check past or something like that. You left click, it shoots that quantum burst into the jump point, and bang, it opens up and it pulls you in. And when it pulls you in,
how long are we gonna talk about going from one city? You're not traveling in real fucking space here, Salty Mike, or anyone that thinks this. How is it that we've fallen for this hysteria of, oh, we're jumping. It is a fucking video game. There's no real systems. This is something that has existed in video games for fucking decades. Going from one place to the other, one kind of loading screen of some kind of over another, some kind of bullshitty programming way of getting from one place to the next. That's all it is. Oh, no, you don't understand. No, you're not. You're not traveling in real space. No, but it is a simulation. And, dude, no. It is all bullshit, just copium and hopeful thinking, wishful thinking of something that is not real. It is still very much a video game. Trust me. None of this is real. The idea of losing your shit over, I finally managed to jump from one system to... You jump 50 times in a play session in No Man's Sky. No one loses their shit, and it's actually fucking enormous and real within the context of a video game as well. It is a lot more impressive than this. Oh, well, go play. Yes, and I too played. Yes, of course. But it just blows your mind how people lose context of what you have here, what you've been giving for your time, for your money, for your loyalty in spending hours on this. We are maybe the most mistreated player base in any game. The loyalty that Star Citizen backers have shown, the financial backing that Star Citizen players have shown, and having this it's just insulting. It is incredible that with so much giving, they've given us so little.
It's pretty jarring. Again, I don't want to spoil it for you. It's very cool. And I just want to say that the actual gameplay element of staying in the jump point was really, really like exhilarating, fun, intense. I could also see it getting super repetitive because it was long. I think it was in the jump point.
Of course it's long. So you have to keep... So this is basically... Yeah, this is the most basic gameplay ever, which is keeping your shit from crashing against the sides, and you go through... Oh, we failed. We have to jump that... Okay. Imagine having to do that every... Oh, you're going from one system to the other. What do you expect? Oh, it's a simulation. No, none of this is a simulation. None of this is real. It's all just a fucking giant time sink. Since you have no content, they pretend to waste your time. They pretend to have more content by wasting your time fucking around in this wormhole where you're going from one system. It should be like that. Who the fuck cares? Give me something that's fun. Give me something that I can actually play. That word that we apparently forgot. Yes, play. Some guys in Global the other day were debating about what fun is. That's how deranged these people have become. They have to debate what fun is. You know what's not fun? This is not fun. Doing the same thing a million times just for the sake of time sink and just for the sake of the company saving money and not making content. That is what not fun actually is. Having fun is when you're being entertained, when you're being distracted, when time just flies by and you go, what the... God damn it, how many hours have I been doing? I thought it was just 10 minutes. I'll just go into my freighter in No Man's Sky and see what the fleet brought back, and that's it. And 5 hours later, you're just picking up something weird in some weird-ass planet, and you go, oh, yeah, that's what fun is. Not this. This is the opposite of fun.
For easily a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes, like if it was a long time. So, to load it in the Pyro system, maybe it takes a while. And, load in the Stanton system because I started in Pyro. But I made it through, and the visuals were incredible. The sound was amazing. The gameplay was great. And you can see other people inside the...
Salty Mike stopped being salty a while back, man. It was super fun and entertaining, Salty. Okay. It is all of these time sinks. The idea of not having a working inventory, no, because we are physicalized. No, there's nothing physicalized here at all. You're just standing and shit magically appears nonetheless. Still the same system, just limited. Oh, I have to wait until my ship is... Well, how many... let me know in the comments. How many times have you seen some of these shells make a big deal about, wow, when my ship is brought up in that elevator and I see my Avenger Titan pop up, or my Connie, it is an experience. It's a cinematic experience. God damn it, make that thing come up faster. Make everything faster so I can go and play. But you know why not? Because playing sucks. Playing sucks. It's been downgraded enormously, especially the ship combat. I was doing a little bit of it yesterday. We'll do a dedicated video on that. It is horrible. Master Mode keeps getting worse and worse. We don't have, and the FPS also crappy, terrible. You're not getting any significant reward. You don't have any kind of base that you. No, I'm just grinding the shit out of this horrible nightmare of a game because I will get the reward and I'll have that in my ship. In my ship, sure, yeah. In No Man's Sky, I can have like a poster of some achievement while doing a fishing mission that I can just put there on the wall and go like, yeah, that's cool. The head of a creature that you killed, and there's things that make you. There's this sense of reward, of satisfaction, of having done things. Some a little bit more grindy, some a little bit more fun, some a little bit less expected. But there has to be some of that. We don't get any of that here, and we just talk and babble and bullshit about, oh yeah, there is a new box now, guys. There is a 3D printer that prints a key, and I open this place that has the same gun that I had before, but it's a subscription gun. Yeah, it's a subscriber item, so it is a blue Coda revolver. Oh, god damn it. Well, I'm super excited about that. Oh, do I get to keep it? It's going to go into my permanent hangar now, and of course, oh, right. Oh, yeah, okay, terrible.
Wormhole with you, and you could even see when they hit the sides or fly out of the wormhole. Then we tested it again, coming back the other way, and we failed. Not on purpose, but once we had failed, we were kind of like, all right, let's see what happens. And this was a little bit buggy, but it literally shot us out way off the map of Stanton, because we were in Stanton trying to go back to Pyro, way off the map. And
wow, so it's like very real. It's actual space. Yeah, the idea that some fucking loser actually thinks, well, it's a physical world, you see, so it's so far away. You know what's also physical in that sense? No Man's Sky is also physical. It's fucking huge, and you could spend your entire life exploring. I read something about you cannot. The world will end before you get to land in each planet. It's not just your life. The world, the universe, the solar system will end. It's so fucking huge that it's simply impossible to do it all. And that is cool in itself. That is the real space that has been created in a video game. You may like the graphics a little bit more or less here and there. That's all cool. But in terms of exploration, in terms of actually having a physical world that was made, and you can actually, but it uses the system that this and that. This is completely different. At the end of the day, it's not. At the end of the day, there's just one system that is kind of shitty with another system that's going to be even shittier. Pyro, it's going to be even shittier than Stanton. You don't even have the cities. You don't even have different stations. You have the same place copy-pasted 4 or 5 times. And fucking empty planets as well. So, after all this time, we still have nothing, but we're supposed to be super excited about it because soon it's going to be super cool.
Like to the point where we might have run out of fuel trying to get back in, kind of thing. And it was pretty intense. It was pretty cool. But then we ran into some client crashes, and when we came back from our client crash, we weren't in Stanton anymore. We were back in Pyro. So that was a little bit weird. And then we tried getting back to the Pyro jump gate, and then the server error started. So everyone in your group can have one. You can make finds the security key. Well, there's a 3D printer, and then there's a screen next to the 3D printer. As soon as you take the security key, it automatically makes another one. So everyone in your group can have one. You can make a few, because there's actually a few security doors, and I only ever saw security level 1. It says the 1 on it. It doesn't say another number. So there could be other levels of security that we don't know about. There were some elevators in the contested zones, but they all seem to bring you back
You know what's going to be a lot of fun? Doing all of this crawling in these dungeons that they've obviously made, crawling through all of this station and not having an inventory to drop things in. That's going to be a lot of fun. So you bring a gun. I mean, I could actually pick up more guns physically in the real world than I can do in this fucking video game, which is just not cool. But anyway, you're going to have a lot of fun doing all of this. Yeah, FPS in the food court door next to it. Okay, doing all of that, and you cannot even get the loot of it. If you're doing it for the money, for the loot, well, no. It's physicalized. You cannot just throw it in the local inventory anymore because that wouldn't be realistic, unlike everything else that's not realistic either. You're wasting your time, basically. You're wasting your time. Oh, there's going to be this super cool, there's going to be this legendary weapon. We don't have that. We don't have legendary weapons here. We don't have anything special that is worth your time. You don't get to... It is pointless, everything you're doing, in sense of progression and getting better status, better... That means anything. Status in Starfield means that I eventually unlock a big-ass penthouse in the main city. That's progression in Starfield. Oh, you didn't... Oh, you actually thought that Starfield sucked? Well, you are the sucker in that case. You just get the clickbait bullshit in YouTube get to you. Actually go and play the thing. It is... The progression that you have in that specific mission in Starfield, it is very cool. It is pretty damn epic, if I may say so. The places to which it takes you, the enemies you end up fighting, the progression from a foot soldier to you're a big shot now, and you get the cool shit because you're the big shot, and that cool shit stays in the game. Oh, but it's a multiplayer. Doesn't matter. It's a game, and you have that. I can log in after so much time. I can just log in right now. It's gonna be there, right? And then there's other things that you have in a role-playing game that you don't have any of that here. But I digress. Let's keep watching all of the cool things that we now have to await for in Pyro.
To the social area, so those appear to be extracts. And yeah, so we don't know how far these things go. We don't know how intense the fights are. I did see Copians and hear Copians as well. There was like one behind a doggy door, sad. Kind of, so like they're meant to feels really good. But we don't know. Like basically my expectations were how we ended and not how we started. So I feel pretty good coming out of this one. And again, the gameplay design of the contested zones feels really good. But we don't know what it's going to be like when we're fighting each other. I will say the layout appears to not appeal to, but work really well if you're going to be a complete rat and stand in a corner, shoot people, loot them, that kind of thing. So
yeah, it's gonna be fun. Going to a place where some fucking loser that has no life whatsoever just sits in the corner with heavy armor and a sniper rifle and waits to snipe your ass. That's gonna be super fun. Yeah, that sounds great. Please let me go into places where I'll get shot and have my shit stolen, never to be returned, because there's no way of getting any of that back. So let me go to that place, taking my fucking golden arc light pistol, lose it to some 12-year-old, and yeah, that's gonna be super exciting. Guys, let me call it right now. Let me tell you the truth. Based on what he's saying, based on what I've seen already from Pyro when we went there, when at least some of us went there last year, they've done nothing. They have nothing. They don't have any cities, which they should have. In a new system, you should have something. God damn it. One fucking city. Nothing. You don't have any city. You don't have any... But by city, I mean a New Babbage, an Horizon, on Area 18. Something that's a real city that you took the time, you took the money to make. You don't have that. You have these fucking shitty stations. The only thing they actually did was they made one derelict station, then copy-pasted it 4 or 5 times, and those are your starting locations. Oh, but it's different factions. They have different tattoos, you see. Who gives a fuck about tattoos? Who gives a fuck about hair and beard and all of that? Oh, I do. I do a lot. Okay, you know what? That's great for you. The reality is you never see that shit. So it should be there because it's a game in 2024. So you should have hairs, beards, and whatever else you want to change from a character. That's all cool. That is not a main feature after 14 years at this point. You are being fucked over. We are all being fucked over because Pyro, let me tell you right now, I've seen it and it sucks. There's nothing in Pyro. There's just these empty planets. There's a lot of space between them. And when you go there, you have a few different little library things that they've added. You've seen them in the trailer for years now. It's that. That's Pyro. What you saw in the trailers of Pyro, that's Pyro. It's those settlements, the relic locations that you're probably already familiar with. All of that thing. Oh, we brought. You've already seen it, so you know what it is. The relic locations, those little Star Wars looking Tatooine building sort of thing. That is it. There's nothing more than that. It's the same mechanics. It's the same mining, the same cargo hauling. It's the same thing, but just with more time sink with this bullshit of the jump point, the wormhole in which you go through, and oh yeah, I crashed going from one system to. That is not gameplay, man. That is just more time sink. You're not achieving anything. Either you get there or you don't. But what? What is it so special about jumping from one system to the other in a game that's about space? And in theory, it's about exploration too. Oh, it's a difficulty of, okay, I'll buy that if I have 1,000 fucking systems to go and explore. So I got to the super difficult system. That was a very difficult jump. I got somewhere. I discover that place. I name it after myself. Those resources I can sell to someone else that's looking to mine quartz because it's valuable. You don't have a real economy. You don't have crafting. You don't have any progression. You don't have a real new system to explore. It is fucking boring. An empty space with nothing in it. Oh, you have solar flares. Every once in a while, everything shuts down. More time sinking. Guys, we are being treated like idiots because I guess in many ways we kind of are for even trying this at this point. See you later, folks.